Yesterday, I got a call from a new client. Well, actually, not a call. I got a text message from a client that I started with a couple weeks ago. You might remember this client with the new Dell computers they bought from Costco.
DougBot said I'm working here.
There I have a SpeakerBot verification, and I got my audio confirmation. Yesterday, I get a text message from that client. It was a towing service that I've told you about. And he says, I have a friend who has a print shop and he's having problems. His IT guy died. So sad, sorry. And he's had a couple people try to fix his problem, unsuccessful. Can I give him your number? I didn't want to do that without asking first. And so I called him back and said, yes, sure you can. And so that print shop owner called me within a few minutes. Hi-yo, it's Stormy. And within 20 minutes, I was in his office. Got his problem solved. When I solved his problem, his jaw just kind of, in about 5 minutes, his jaw just kind of dropped. Just like, that's kind of fun. And I reported back to my client who referred him to me. I'm just sharing with you some fun things about this business. And let's see, I told him that I got the problem solved, and I said, thank you for the referral. I got his immediate issues resolved, and we'll get together next week for some other issues. And so this client, the towing company, responds, thank you so much, Doug. You're the best. That's just so fun and heartwarming. Anybody can make their clients happy. It's a strategy and a technique. So I'm gonna give you the quiz. Here's to tell you what the problem was and see what you come up with as far as how to solve it. So he says he has a ID badge printer where they print the person's picture on the badge and some other stuff, and there's some watermark type stuff to prove the authenticity of the badge. It's a very specialty printer. And he says it's connected to the network, and the print job goes from my computer through a router, then through another router, then to the printer. I'm thinking right off the bat, really? And so I questioned him about the router. Why do you have multiple routers? And it became apparent that he really didn't understand very much about it, and was also not going to be able to give me very accurate information over the phone. And since it is an unusual printer, I said, you know what? I think I should just come right on out there, see what's going on. It sounds like this is an urgent issue for you, is it? And this was like about, 3 o'clock Friday yesterday? So, towards the end of the day. And he said, yeah, that'd be great. Come on out. So I went out. We had a little bit of the conversation, niceties and stuff. So I didn't dig right into the problem, but we went over to the printer, and I looked at the Ethernet cable. Oh, he said, over the phone, he said the router has a warning message and an error light, a yellow error light on the router that the printer's plugged into. So anyway, when I get over there, I see that what he's calling a router is actually a network switch, 8-port network switch. And the port that this printer is connected to is yellow. And all the others were, green or blue, whatever. So I got that in mind. Now I'm telling it to you this way so that you can start putting into chat what you think is going on. I'm giving you a chance to come up with, because some of you are going to catch this right away. So what do you think that yellow error light actually meant? Would be the first question. And then I look at the front of the printer. The printer has an LED display window, and it looks fine. It's not giving any kind of an error message. It looks like it's ready to go. Did I at that point? I don't think I disconnected and reconnected the Ethernet on either side. I saw a light at the switch for that Ethernet cable, the yellow light, right? There's the name of the label printer, and then handwritten on a piece of paper on the printer is an IP address, 192.168.1.1. I think it was 180. Yeah, 180. So I go over to his computer and bring up his printers list. I say, which one is this printer? And he points it out. I look at the print queue. There's 4 print jobs waiting. Actually, it says deleting it, and it's failing to delete. So I said, well, let's get rid of those first. I go stop the print server. Try to go into the print queue in Windows System 32. What's it called? It's not called queue. It's called spool. SPOOL. I get into there, and then there's a folder for the printers, and I double click on that, trying to get into that. It won't go. It won't let me into that. I say, okay, well, let's just restart the computer, clean things out a little bit here. So we restart the computer, and when I go back in and look at the print queue, it's clean. It's cleaned out. Then I go into printer properties. And what do you think I'm going to look for there? I guess I should, if I'm going to do this as a quiz, why am I going into printer properties? What do I want to look at? I'll stop the setup there. I've told you the things that are pertinent. So for those of you who want to speculate on what the issue is, I'll give you a chance to do that. Then I'll give you my answers. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, it is March 15th, 2025 on a Saturday, 11:07 a.m. and 18 seconds. All right, let's go pull up chat. Let's see, did any of you ding me in chat for the short notice? I did all my setup and stuff, then I went to select the stream and go, oh, I haven't scheduled the stream. So I only scheduled the stream about 15 minutes before showtime, or 10 minutes, something like that. So therefore, there were no old chat messages. Rick Lakes came in first. It's a snowy, windy day here. We've had a lot of rain here recently. We went from spring weather right back into winter, and the mountains all white and snow covered, look terrific. Celestia Guru. Now that's Jeff, right? On his wife's account. If I remember right, John Williams, hello. Ren Israel, hello there. Tim Cruz, hello. Tim Cruz with a like. Thank you so much, Bobby Warren. Charlie Purdy, member for 2 months. Okay, so he must have done
no way
the click to oh no, I was wrong about Celestia Guru. CG equals SB. Selden Ball. All right, yep, I said that wrong. Sorry, Selden Bell. Ken corrects. And still, is that your wife's account though, Selden? Am I getting things mixed up, or is it Jeff that has a wife's account? I don't know. I can't keep all this straight. Let's see. If you go here and do, oh, I guess I don't get to see what you see here. There was something that you can choose to just announce how long you've been a member for. I guess I don't get that option. John Williams, 5,000 points for Doug. Who's got points? We got points. I got points. How about you? Ken Stout. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America. All ships at sea. Alice Jones, hello to you. Phil Stodd. Hello. There's Ken Stout. Tim Cruz he told us the other day everything's fixed. Now it's got a software update failed.
No way.
If that's your Windows update failed, just postpone it for a week and then try it again. Selden Ball says, not wife. Celestia equals 3D astronomical display program. I remember that now. Thank you, Selden. Thank you for tolerating my memory issues. Hey, Doug, when did you start having memory issues due to age? Well, I started claiming memory issues due to my age at the age of 22 years old. Coincidentally, at that time I'd been married for a year or two. Put two and two together. Printer LAN not connected, new cable. No, that was not the solution. RAN Israel gigabit speed. The switch is a gigabit switch. Are you thinking that the yellow light was indicating gigabit speed? Out of date? No. No, the printer had plenty of women to date. He's kind of a player. Bernard C., hello there. Oh, cool. How you, Doug, and all in chat. Properties, location, location, location. Yeah, kind of, sort of that. Yeah, but I don't know that you know what I'm looking for in location in properties. That's not a technically specific response. Ken Stout, member for 2 months. I looked at the date when I saw that first one come in to see if today was the anniversary date. No, it wasn't. And that was a cute twist of fate when I turned membership on my birthday. So then it's easy to know when the anniversary is.
Read chat, please.
See what this read chat is. Rand Israel said, I saw it on some network adapters. Green equals 100 megabits, amber equals gigabit. Actually, that's backwards. I have never seen on a network switch that, or an adapter, I've never seen it marked that way. And I'm not sure that I've paid much attention to the adapters themselves. But what I usually am expecting is that green is gigabit and amber is 100 megabits. 100, yeah, megabits. Let me go back and catch these in order. Celestia Guru equals Selden Ball. Selden Bell. Ken's got me doing it wrong. It's not Selden Ball, it's Selden Bell. Looks like auto updates for Microsoft Security Essentials. And trustees, Windows 7 is over. Oh, finally, you think? Updates haven't been working for 2 weeks for Security Essentials. Yeah, security updates are continuing longer than feature updates. And that's kind of a historical, normal thing. Tim Cruz showing member for 2 months. Bernard C. Oh, got a quickie. Anyone using GoPro lose ability to play after last Windows 11 update? I was using GoPros a lot on my airplane back in the day. I had 5 cameras mounted on my airplane when we were flying, taking kids for free flights. The Young Eagles program through EAA, Experimental Aircraft Association. So why would you might lose the ability to play videos that recorded on the GoPro? Were they recorded in MP4 format? And then you, I guess, using the SD card, copy them onto your hard drive. How about right click and open with and try opening with a different video player that's on your computer? Can you give more specific what's happening when you try? You double click on it, you get an error message, or the video player opens and just doesn't play. Can you give us more specifics? Lawn Dog, but I may have found the smallest of temporary workarounds. Only time will tell. It looks like someone came up with a manual way of doing the updates. Oh, that's interesting.
Read chat, please.
I wonder, are they KB updates that you can actually go to the library and download and install? Zvi Menor, reconnect the Ethernet cable both sides, switch printer. I did validate that. I'm not totally sure that, but actually that was not the solution. But that is definitely a part of what I'll do, especially if I'm not getting a light on the Ethernet switch. When I saw the light on the Ethernet switch, I was kind of felt okay about it, but that did not turn out to be the solution. Sometimes it is. Switch printer. Switch printer. Do you mean a different printer? Switch to a different printer?
Read chat, please.
Is that a Windows 10 or 11 looking for the updates? For Londog, I think that was Windows 7. Right up here. Auto updates for Microsoft Security Essentials and Trusty Windows 7 is over. Yeah, he's Windows 7 he's looking for. And yeah, I know it's no longer supported, but they did continue issuing updates for Security Essentials. Oh, I'm thinking of Ski Man. Ken Stout says when I'm thinking of Jeff. Does he sometime comes in under his wife's account name? Lawn Dog, everything's back to normal. The screen is green instead of orange for Security Essentials. We'll see if it goes back to its normal behavior. But regardless, I be not worried. So I guess that means that at 11:09, he told us about a workaround that he found. I guess he already implemented it. Oh, this is all 11:09, all within 1 minute. So I'm guessing he already had found that temporary workaround and applied it before he told us about the problem at all. Tim Cruz, and he got points yesterday. How many points do you have right now, Tim? And Londog's just updating the gang. Oh, he switched. Oh, wait a minute. It is not Bell. It's Ball. Ken Stout was wrong. What are you saying, Bell, up here? It is not Bell. It's Ball. Haha. There you go. Ken Stout, wrong again. Who would have thunk it? Dead port and switch. I think the light on the switch kind of defeats that. But switching ports on the switch would be a valid thing to do. But I had a more obvious choice in front of me first. Printer is looking for a USB or Wi-Fi connection instead of Ethernet. A reasonable thought, but no, that's not what it was. So we're getting some things out here on the table. This is good. This is what I'm after. This is what I'm wanting by doing quizzes. Everybody gets sharper by, other people's experiences. You do know that I don't know what you are talking about. Which basically that amounts to saying for Ken Stout that today is a day that ends in the letter Y. This only occurs on those types of days. Ran Israel. I saw it on some network adapters, green 100, amber gigabit. That's fascinating. I'm surprised that that was not a more stable, consistent standard. OnDog only heard part of the problem. I'm not going to repeat it. If you don't care to go back and rewind and do fast speed forward to rehear the problem, then I'm not going to tell you what it is. Selden Ball, sometimes called Bill. Maybe switch was set to allow only a specific wrong MAC address on the port. That's another reasonable idea to put out there, but no, that wasn't it. Chris Garrett, hello everyone. OnDog, I had a printer once that would only do USB connection or Wi-Fi. It would not do both at the same time. I love printers. I'm pretty sure that is sarcasm right there. Oh, look at there. Ken is requesting that we blame him anytime there's an issue. And I tried telling the client that yesterday. I tried to tell him it's Ken Stout's fault that your printer's not working. He didn't buy that. Bernard C. Selden ball, as in bounce, not bell, as in chime. People saying hellos to each other's. What, Doug? Seriously, I had no idea you also did Young Eagles. Yeah, I did. I was president of my EA chapter for, I think it was 8 years. During that time, built a 6,000 square foot hangar as a chapter clubhouse. Zvi Minor, hello, reconnect the Ethernet cable both sides, switch printer. Oh yeah, we did a rechat, please, for that. Bernard C, it's my grandson's Doug, getting more info now. It's my grandson's Doug, getting more info now. Not quite sure. I'm sure I'm not understanding that. Let me see if I missed something. Oh, yeah. Let's see. That was the first stuff. My grandson's getting more. And Doug, he say it plays regular videos, but won't play
Read chat, please.
360 anymore. And it is what? Oh, was that the GoPro? But no, he's not the one that asked the GoPro question. He says it plays regular videos but won't play 360. I'm not sure what 360 is. Is that a game? Is that a camera? Hub switch. It was an Ethernet switch. Yeah, Ethernet hub is what we call the non-switching devices that just send the blast the signals out to everyone. That one was called a hub, right? I see your Intel assistant got an update on your taskbar. Oh, yeah, like I pay a lot of attention to that. 2 updates available. Hello, Darren Gilholm. Skimming. Excuse me. I don't know if you're saying Roger to me or somebody else. Power off and power on the hub switch. That's a possibility. You could also apply that to the router, but in this case, neither of those would have fixed it. Hello, Jinx, Z Jinxter Mark. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, I came up with the name Mark before I saw that you actually put it there. I got you now, Mark. This is the documentation for the apparent manual virus definitions update, and it's not in KB form. It's actual executable. Execute the executable. He's doing Windows 7. I was just curious if it actually, identifies Windows Defender 7. Yeah, it actually has downloads for definition version, downloads for Windows 7 and Vista. What? No Windows 95? No Windows 3.11? What a ripoff. Ken Stout Live, fully disclosure. Fully disclosure, I wasn't sure on the last name and narrowed to those 2. That way I had a 50-50 chance of being right. Londog, if this turns out to be the method of continuing with updates, this is going to be interesting and a pain in the butt. I wonder how I'll know about needing a definition update. Definition updates come through really often, don't they? Let's go look at this, because I think those will come through multiple times a day. Let's see, if we go to update history, there. It says update history. That's why it was hard to see. Collapse the quality updates, go to definition updates. March 15th, March 14th, 13th, 13th, 12th, 12th, 11th, 11th, 10, 10. So it can be more than one a day. But that's just updating to the brand new things. If you think if you think that you're going to get hit with some kind of vulnerability that is just discovered today, or just a remediation for it came out today, then you should go buy lottery tickets. If you think you're that lucky. Did anyone catch Carrie and Mitch yesterday? I caught them. I didn't get to watch it all the way through, so I caught part of it. I'd like to get back to it. They were building what's called his birthday build. His birthday was a couple weeks ago. They didn't do it then because Carrie had some kind of cold symptoms or something. He didn't want to pass that along to Mitch. And so, yeah, I don't know how it turned out. Bernard C. Doug, I told him to uninstall the last update. He said it won't uninstall. Yeah, sometimes that can happen. There's a few ways to go about. Now, was that Windows 11 or Windows 10? And when I went back here to look at Bernard's question, did you start this question like yesterday or on a previous day and I'm not remembering it? Got a quickie. Anyone using GoPro ability play last? Yeah, so it's the GoPro issue. And no idea did Young Eagles. It's my grandson's GoPro. He's getting more info now about it. He says it plays regular video. So the computer will play regular videos, but won't play 360 anymore. So is this one of those 360-degree GoPro cameras? That you would probably have to use a video player that supports that, and possibly after a Windows update, it might have switched the default video player to different than what you previously had it set at. GoPro might have a Windows media player specifically for the 360 camera that you could install on the computer. Maybe this recent update has a conflict with that. So I'm kind of putting two and two together as we go along here and thinking that whatever video player he's currently using is failing to play videos from the 360-degree camera after the last update. So he's trying to uninstall the last update. Is it a Windows 11 or Windows 10? Because it's going to look different. If I show how to alternative ways to do it on Windows 11, that's not going to help him if it's Windows 10. Part of it, Zincter. No, it's the 360 GoPro like many pilots use now. Yeah, so you can film in 360, and then when you play back, you can just play a normal 1920 by 1080 format, but you can control it. You can pan the camera around. Zincster. I don't know what Zincster means in this context, unless you're calling Jinkster. I don't think so. I wonder if I still have my highlight. Okay, this is where I was at. With Mitch, when you see him, it's all about the t-shirt. On that video they did of the Big Beast build on day number 1, he was not wearing a Toto t-shirt. But they did talk about Toto in that first show. Was a printer plugged into the WAN port of the switch? Switches do not have WAN ports. routers have WAN ports. So no, it was not plugged into a WAN port of the switch. And Jinkster Mark is from Liverpool, UK. Fully his Hoosier speak, for sure. Guessing around 5 hours in front of me. UK is more than that. Wasn't it like 9? Ziggy, what time is it in Liverpool?
In Liverpool, it's 6:30 p.m.
6:30, so 7 hours ahead. Oh, but that would be 5 hours ahead of Ken. That's right. On Doug. Yeah, Doug, I was thinking the same thing. Won't be long before virus definition needs to be updated, but with Windows 7, not as frequent as Windows 10. Well, that's curious. I guess if they're not doing Windows 7 as frequently, the vulnerabilities, yeah, maybe there aren't as many vulnerabilities coming out new for Windows 7 because the vulnerabilities aren't being developed by the bad guys, or they're not being discovered by the bad guys as frequent, or maybe Microsoft just doesn't want to spend the money on updating them as frequently. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe they don't bother with every potential security update, only the ones that meet a certain criteria.
Please.
That would very well could be because they are under no obligation to update those at all, since it's no longer a supported system. More likely they don't care about Windows 7 or Microsoft Essentials anymore. Yeah. Don't care as much. In the past, when Microsoft kills a product, they kind of only do updates that are very important. I would get an update maybe once or twice a month. Yeah, I have seen that. In fact, I had Windows Server, what was it called? 2008 R2. That was still getting security updates, I think, for a surprisingly long time. John Williams watched the whole thing. Did they get it, everything finished? Was everything turned out okay? Bernard C., that computer is Windows 11. Okay. He told me about it last night. Sorry. Let's see. Before I go down this road, let's see if Bernard's got any more. Yes, exactly. Doug told him to see if GoPro said anything, maybe have to uninstall and reinstall it. That's why you back up before or make current drivers back up. It's also possible that GoPro might issue an update to their software if the most recent Windows 11 update has caused a problem with their software. Now, about the uninstall not happening, let's go update settings. Nothing really no real advantage of going into update settings that way. It's just my habit. So then if we go to update history, cumulative update on 3.11. So let's go, no, yeah, they do the uninstall updates where now? Update history. Isn't it a separate option around here somewhere? Update settings. Uninstalling problematic Windows updates easily. Wonder if they've changed how this is done since the last time I uninstalled one. Start settings, Windows Update, related settings, update history, uninstall updates. Oh, I could do this. Just move this over. Okay, we're in Windows Update. Under related settings, related support, that's not related settings.
Read chat, please.
Update history right there. And John Williams reports all built for Mitch, but needed cable management and all the updates for Windows 11. Got it. Yeah, when I went in here to update history, I did not see uninstall. Is that because it's just not available for that KB number? Well, let's go look at another way then. 505-3602. AppWiz, bottom left corner, appwiz.cpl. 505-3602. View installed updates right up here. Didn't it end in 32? Installed on 3/24/22. 25, 3/11. Here's 3/11. Security update, feature update. No. So nothing showing there for this week's update. Yeah, let's go back here. Oh, no, not that one. Update history. Let's try Copilot for this. Whoop, that's not Copilot. I had to go to a new chat. I just chuckled. This Copilot may make mistakes. Warning, warning, danger, Will Robinson. I can't see a method to uninstall. Let's see, recent update. I'm going to be lazy and leave that left parentheses, the crescent shaped thing. Leave it there. It can figure it out. It can be a bit tricky. Yeah, uninstall updates. That's what I remember. Uninstall updates was at the top. Update history. It's not there anymore. Does anybody have an S? Oh, here it is. Uninstall updates. It's down at the bottom now. Related settings. Oh, that's what they want. Related settings. Okay. Okay. Now, there it is. 320. No, that's 2022. I've been there. It's not showing here. It's not here. Look for it in the list using command prompt. So here's a way to do it from the command prompt. WUSA, that's on the west coast of USA, so this only works like in California or Oregon or Washington. No. Have them try that. Recovery options. If the update caused significant issues, you can use Go Back feature in recovery settings to revert to a previous version. This option is available for 10 days after the update. Yeah, let's look at that one too. Recovery options. So Windows key, recovery options, Go Back. It's grayed out. So I think I've seen before where like a feature update, like a 24H2 update, this Go Back will be available for that, but not for normal cumulative updates. Find more detailed guidance on uninstalling updates Microsoft support page. Let's open that link, see what they give us there. How to install the Windows update. We've already tried that. That doesn't work. No worky. From Windows recovery environment. Okay, yeah, certainly. You could do, there's a few ways that you can get to that. My favorite is to go to the Windows key and then the power button and then hold down the shift key and click restart. And you'll get the advanced startup options and then go into troubleshoot, which is showing right there. Go to advanced options right there and go to uninstall updates. And then select either uninstall latest quality update or uninstall latest quality update. Wait, what? What? Did that say turn left or turn left? Uninstall latest quality update, or if that doesn't work, try uninstall latest quality update. What? Oh, my head hurts. Microsoft. Who else could do that? Latest quality update, latest, or what's the other one? Latest security update. That's not really what you want though. Cumulative update. All right, so there's some ideas thrown out there. Bernard. Special software to read 360 videos. I think their viewers available. Well, it's already been working. Before they did that update, he had the software on the computer. When he's double clicking on that video, is it automatically opening the same software that it previously was? That's where you might be able to do right click and open with. Shall we demonstrate that? If I go to video files, I got to take that off screen because sometimes I have videos in here named with my clients' names. No, okay, don't have that. So let's come here. So if you go to an MP4 and then choose open with, and then try the different media players. If there was a specific media player that was specifically for the 360 camera, then hopefully it'll be in that list. Another way to deal with that might be if there is a specialty video player, is go into programs and features and find that program in here, click on it, and see if there's a repair option. Not all programs have a repair option. Even that change option that showed up on one of them. Yeah, there's a repair option. So that would be another way to deal with it, because possibly the Windows Update overwrote some setting, and when you run the repair option, it will re-enable whatever settings and configurations that it needs. Mitch left the motherboard screws to attach in the case at home, but Carrie came to the rescue. Oh, with spare screws. Other than out file that it has been corrected. In some way, I would look for an older created file in this 360 format, see if you can get it to play. That's a good idea. Yeah, a 360 format file that has been played previously on that computer. Try that. That might answer the question that the video created recently has corruption or some other kind of issue. Fair idea. Ha ha ha, that reminds me, I was called to fix a printing problem and I saw the Ethernet wire plugged into the back part of the printer, which was hard to get to. I saw the Ethernet wire plug into the back part of the printer, which was hard to get to. So I spent my time looking things over, trying different things. And then I got around to seeing actually where that Ethernet cable was plugged in. I don't remember what port they put it in, but it wasn't the Ethernet port. Yeah, I have seen them plug it into the, let's see, no. Oh, no, not the other way. I've seen them take a USB cable and plug it into an Ethernet port on the back of a printer, because that will fit. The Ethernet cable, the RJ45, there's no other connection on the back of a printer that I can think of that it would be able to fit in, but I've seen it the other way. USB cable plugged into the Ethernet port. And I tell people when I'm talking them through that, I tell them if they got a printing problem, I want them to disconnect and reconnect the USB cable from the computer side and from the printer side. And when you plug it in the printer, be sure you have your eyes on that port. Turn the printer around, do whatever you got to do. Don't do it by feel, because there is a different port that you could fit it into that it's not going to work. I think I've had that 2 or 3 times happen. Bernard, yes, exactly. Doug told him, I think he's saying there, exactly, Doug, I told him, meaning Bernard, to see if GoPro said anything, maybe have to uninstall and reinstall it. That's why you back up before or make a current driver's backup. Yeah, anytime you've got a computer that you care about, you don't want it down. My mindset is, why not do image backups nightly? Full backup, maybe once a month, once a week, whatever you like, and then differential backups. Once you have the backup software, whether it's free or whether it's paid, it doesn't cost you any extra to keep your image backups automatically up to date. Lawn dogs. I spent time looking over. I already looked at that. Yay, Ken was right. I don't know what that one was about at this point. Maybe he was right when he was saying both bell and ball. I read that already. I just used my Windows 7 machine as a viewer of YouTube and banking. And of course, I don't download any more programs these days. Wait a minute, are you serious? Are you serious that you use Windows 7 for banking? No. So you input your bank sign-in credentials, username and password on a Windows 7 computer? No. Are you being sarcastic there? Don't be doing that. He tried other saved videos. They play crappy. Alice complimenting Lawn Dog's idea. Of course it is. We're not arrogant at all. Alice says, that's a good idea, Lawn Dog. Lawn Dog says, of course it is. Of course it is. I'm a technician, and I have my license on the wall. My certificate of being an authentic technician. Sorry, Doug, this wasn't a fair question without the rest of the story regarding the GoPro. That's okay, we get there eventually. I am not one of those technicians that when somebody asks a question, I'm not going to come back with all of these reasons why I can't give you the answer because you haven't given me enough. We're just going to start working with whatever you give me to work with. And then we'll get it narrowed down. We'll get it figured out. Already did that. Yeah, what's the video form? What's the extension? Just the extension, 3 characters. He checked for GoPro updates, nothing new. Oh, okay, so let's go. Did I already ask Copilot that? I don't think so. All right, let's do new. Oh, I gotta get that. I've got to get my microphone set so I can share it with Copilot. I have a GoPro 360 camera. After the last Windows 11 update, I am not able to play video files from that camera, but I can still play non-360 videos. Now, the Copilot, you see me use it a lot, and it goes out and searches the web. This is pretty reasonably comparable to a Google search, but it gives us a summary of a whole bunch of things. When I do a Google search, I get a bunch of results, and I got to go kind of look at them manually. Seems like the issue might be related to compatibility or codec support for 360-degree videos after Windows 11 update codecs. You could take a photo. You could pull your camera out right now, Bernard, and take a picture of this screen so that you and your grandson can work with that a little bit. I'm going to keep it on screen for a little while for you to get around to that. And I don't really need to make it bigger for your camera. You just move your camera in closer. But let's see. Let's make it bigger for the viewers, shall we? What can I do? What does it let me do? Does this have a zoom? If it does, I'm not seeing it. Codecs, check for GoPro software updates. Use GoPro Quick app. If you're not already using it, try playing your 360 videos through GoPro Quick app, which is designed to handle GoPro's proprietary format. So maybe go to the Microsoft Store and search for a GoPro Quick app. Run the video playback troubleshooter. Shows how to do that. I'm not going to read it out loud. Convert the video format. Convert 360 videos to more universally compatible format. And that's, I think that GoPro 360 format is probably already kind of proprietary and not going to really convert very well. Check system requirements. If none of these solutions works, you might want to reach out to GoPro support. So if you didn't get that picture taken yet, just go ahead and pause the video there, and then you can resume. Lawn Dog, I have a direct link to my bank through the internet. Using HTTPS. He's messing with me. He's totally messing with me. No, that is not adequate. Just because it's a secure HTTP, that does not circumvent any vulnerabilities that Windows 7 might have. No. All that does is that's going to protect the information as it's traveling over the various wires, through the router, under the bridge to grandma's house. That doesn't clear any vulnerabilities from Windows 7. I figured by now banks would block Windows 7 machines. When you're on the internet, HTTP, you have a link secured. That doesn't help. No, it don't. No, it don't. It's secure when it leaves your computer. It's not secure in your computer. You're reading all the keywords, Chris Garrett. I hope you get some of my humor. So there has been sarcasm there. There has been sarcasm, messing with us. To Hacker's house. Yeah, there you go. Through the woods, over the bridge, under the water river to the Hacker's house. I'm gonna get, let's go do this. John Williams, Control-C, copy. Let's see, exclamation, add points. Ken Stout, you haven't even done this. I thought you were going to show people how to deal with this. He's going to tell me he doesn't know what I'm talking about, even though he's done it before. He doesn't know what he's done before. With a good little chuckle there. Let's see what it comes back with. John Williams has 6,200 points. How do you earn points around here, other than me assigning them? How are you going to figure that out? Are there any gamers here that, games these days, they don't tell you how to play the game. It's all discovering. You got to do discovery. Go figure it out. Ken says, what have I done now? He has no clue what I'm fishing for him to come up with. He just has no clue.
Read chat, please.
He thinks that I'm going to tell him what I'm referring to. And no, there's got to be some discovery. Work for it. How do I know? How do I figure out where I was at? HTTPS stuff. Yeah, I get some of my humor. What I did say about HTTPS and your link to your computer and the other computer is also true. Yeah, but it's just between the two. Well, that's true. If HTTPS gets cracked, it doesn't matter what computer you're on, but we're dealing with layers of security. So your house has a front door. All right, close the door. Next level of security, lock the door. Next level of security, turn the alarm on. Next level of security might be put bars on the windows. Next level of security might be hire a live security guard to stay in your house when you're away, or maybe a guard dog. The next level of security might be put a big fence around your house. Next level of security might be station a live guard out at the gate to that fence. So there's layers of security. How motivated might a criminal be to get into your building? Now, we don't generally have fences and live guards around houses, but businesses do. So, because they are a more attractive target to a highly motivated criminal. So, layers of security. Yes, HTTPS. Because if you have your computer fully protected and you're not using a secure connection, well, that's kind of like locking your front door but leaving the door open. I'm not sure if that's quite the right, it's not very effective, but yeah, all those layers need to be in place. A reasonable password, Windows password on your computer is, especially in offices, always. I never have unpassword protected computers in a business environment. Maybe they meant latest feature update. Let's see if placing the hook in the ocean grabs a fish. Bernard, great ideas. I drive to town and sit down with him, see if we can figure it out. So he's not in the same domicile as you are, obviously. And if there were image backups, this is something that I've done. When I have a suspicion that it's because of a Windows update and I can't easily uninstall that update, maybe the uninstall option is there, but it doesn't uninstall successfully. Well, if I have a last night's image backup, even if it is a differential backup,
please.
I can restore that differential backup. When I tell it to restore the differential backup, what it does is it restores the most recent full backup and that latest differential backup. And that is really a quick and easy way to recover from a problem created by an update. So even if it's a home computer, in this case, this is a home computer, might be thinking, oh, we don't have to have full image backups every night. But how much time are you spending on this, trying to solve this little issue? You could roll it back to prior to the update and you're golden. And then if you have your data actually stored in the cloud, you don't even have to worry about reinstalling your data or copying your data files back. Okay, I'll go check on that read chat message. Locking the deadbolt and shutting the door, it will not close all the way. Well, it doesn't matter if you're going to leave the door open. See, you can open the door, you can lock the door handle and lock the deadbolt. That's fine, as long as you're going to leave the door open. You can do that. Is this Tim Cruz telling us that he's done it? Oh, I wasn't supposed to highlight that because now I can't go back and find where I was. There we go. Yeah, then again, Jeff Ryman, I don't think HTTPS protects you if two-factor authentication gets compromised. Absolutely, because if they can figure out how to sign into your account, then they have an HTTPS connection to your bank. If you don't have two-factor authentication, there are programs out there that can crack a password. And if you don't have two-factor authentication, then they can get in if they find a way to compromise your two-factor authentication. Like if they, now I haven't actually, I'm going to say something here and I'll give you the disclaimer that I haven't confirmed this through research, but I'm pretty sure if these two-factor authentications that are time-based, TOTP, OT, one time, time-based, one time, anyway, they're time-based. And I think if they find out what your code was within a specific few minutes of clock time, then they can replicate that time-based code with another authenticator app hacking program to figure out what that code with the numbers that you came up at a particular time, and then replicate that to hack into your account. So two-factor authentication is not completely foolproof. A sufficiently equipped and motivated hacker could still get around that. But just like when you go hunting for deer in bear country, you only need to be able to run faster than the buddy that you brought along with you. That's why the buddy system is really important when you go hunting. Just make sure that you can run faster than your buddy. So if your two-factor authentication protects you more than other potential targets of the criminals, then they'll go after the easier folks. Hello, Steve Dodd. Good to see you. We can only guess what Microsoft is trying to say. Maybe it's an AI glitch for that website wording there on Microsoft's website Bill's referring to. Bernard C., this videos are for posting new funny car, current and past runs. Ah, your grandson is into funny cars. Awesome. You know what, Bernard? I think it would be I think it would be due diligence for you to share a couple pictures with us. You can send them to me at email, and I'll be happy to share those with the community. Hint. Was that a hint, or was that just a request? But I think two-factor authentication has much to do with making a what? I think two-factor authentication has much to do with making a secure connection. No. Oh, I think that was a Spico. Not a typo, but a Spico. He uses Dragon Naturally Speaking. I don't think two-factor authentication has much to do with making a secure connection. It just validates me as a person and being authorized, I guess. It doesn't validate you as a person. It validates you as the right person. It validates you as the person who has that account with the bank or is successfully pretending to be that person, impersonating you as a person. But that has nothing to do with HTTPS. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with direct security. It is a security layer. That's like saying a deadbolt doesn't have anything to do with security. Or maybe the door handle lock has nothing to do with security. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's part of it. Two-factor is just another way of verifying the person who wants access. Yeah, it prevents a person who has figured out what your username and your password is. It prevents them from getting in. Now, many accounts, sites have ways to go look at a log of the number of failed connection attempts. In fact, I looked at my Microsoft 365 account not too long ago and found a massive quantity of failed attempts, and I identified the countries, lots of different countries. The hackers are out there trying to get in the account, and you can see the evidence of that on any of your accounts that show that report the failed sign-in attempts. I have a massive amount of them on my Microsoft 365 account. And it is the two-factor authentication that protects that, because they are using password cracking programs to try to get into my account, and it fails because they don't have the two-factor, or they're not getting the password right. See, Doug got a little bit of my humor immediately on his very first reading. He chuckled, and now we have an open discussion. Yeah, that worked. That worked. The older I get, the more I resemble he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Jeff DeLondog. Corrupt. I don't know what that was in reference to, Charlie. Let's see if I can figure that out. Connectivity issue, paper problem, corrupt, older corrupt, printer driver. Oh, he's referring to the quiz at the beginning of the show. I haven't told you yet. Nobody's guessed it yet. Nobody has got the right answer on that yet. And I did give a hint in my original spiel. I gave you a piece of information that was optional for me to give, but I thought that that would be a hint. It can happen with SD cards, a data rate they need to pass storage. You're talking 360 now, that's a lot of data. He's referring to the corrupt. But he reported that other older files. Now, he didn't really come out and say, Bernard didn't actually say that on prior video files that did work in 360-degree mode currently don't work. He said older videos do play. It's not quite specific enough for the way my mind is trained. And some of my clients I can tell they get a little bit impatient when I turn the question back around to them. I'm trying to get them to say specific words. When they respond with something that is adjacent to the answer to my question, I'm not content with that. And I have many times found that when I dig deeper, they were actually wrong in their assumption that their adjacent response was actually incorrect and misleading and causing us to not find the right answer. Yeah, Alice, right. Windows 7, okay for watching YouTube, but not anything secure. And that's what Lawn Dog's original comment was, I only use Windows 7 for watching YouTube videos and banking. That shouted sarcasm to me, or humor. Have you ever tried holding Control key and use mouse wheel for the zoom screen function? I accidentally do that sometimes, and I'm demonstrating that right now. But my scroll wheel is real touchy. Now, the other place where that's been a problem for me is when I use the red dot. Now, without doing the Control key, if I do the scroll wheel, it zooms and it goes crazy big. And when I try to zoom back out, I'm pulling the scroll wheel back to zoom out. It zooms out one level, but then I come back one more notch and it zooms in. Come back one more notch, it goes out. Back one more notch, it goes out. Back one more notch, it goes out. It's just not consistent. Now, this is with one of those sysinternals tools, but just the Control key and scroll, my scroll wheel is just so touchy. You're just so touchy. And go all the way back. Did I lose my blue? I lost, oh, there's my blue. And then Control plus. I like Control plus a whole lot better because it works. Stable. Predictable. Yeah, Ken still didn't get it. I've even given the clue. I've given the clue during this show, and during the last two shows, I gave the clue. And have people just agreed with each other to not fall into my trap? And see here, I can't even get back far
Read
enough
chat,
in the
please.
video. No, that's 11 a.m. That was the starting of the show. Where's my DougBot messages? Oh, yes, I tried it in Copilot. It didn't work. Did I try Control? Okay, maybe I didn't try Control scroll wheel. Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, very good. Very good. So, let's get back to where that was. Scroll. Where was that scroll? Was it a read chat? He meant, who was it that said that? Okay, so 11:53. I'm going to search for scroll. Control. Yeah, I don't know how I did it. Mouse. There. It was Phil Stodd. All right. So let's do oh, I didn't do that. Add points. I didn't copy. Okay, so I want to get this. I got today's shows. I don't know if that's today's show or not. Here's add points. Those two are pinned. That's probably not today's show, but I don't think I need it. Okay, so there I have add points. And then that's got to be. And then I got to get Phil Stodd. So how's Phil Stodd doing now on points? Now it's 92.50. How does that keep growing? He says, thank you. And I say, you're welcome. So Ken's got 36 in here. No, it was like 11:57, something like that, wasn't it? Oh, what have I done now? Control wheel. Some medical settings. Yeah, there are some Windows XP computers out there in air-gapped where they don't have access to the internet, and they're fine staying on XP. They're fine because there is no hacker that's going to be able to get into them unless they get physical access to the computer. And then what the IT departments will do is they'll do things like, because business class computers, you can disable USB ports in CMOS, in BIOS settings, and then you can password protect BIOS setup. So even if the cleaning staff after hours get access to the computer, they won't be able to get anything through a USB port. And then the computers can be physically secured so that they can't open the computer to even pull a drive out. So yeah, they can be secured adequately. Doesn't mean they always are. You're correct. I'm clueless in Seattle. Ken Stout is. He's not in Seattle. I know this. So wrong again, Ken Stout. Do we give him this? Will he use this? Wrong again, Ken Stout. He's not going to use that. But then that might be reverse psychology. If I say he's not going to use it just to prove me wrong, is he going to? Oh, well, moving on. Jeff Raymond, Alice, I've seen that because some are attached to equipment that has no updated software for later Windows. Most are used standalone. By the way, I don't think I have any channel comments and emails. In fact, I know I don't. So I'm not even going to go there and look. Ken Stout says, look at 12:14. So this was 11:54 is where I left off. 12:14. Is he doing it? Is he doing it? What I've been hinting at? 12:14. Oh, I am using that. Oh, he's going to use what I just know, right? What he still hasn't done. No, but there's no gamers here. There's just no gamers. They're not. Let's see. 11 a.m. There were speaker bot messages. Are they just no longer visible? Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah. 11:58 for Jeff. That's why I'm spending more time in chat than usual. Oh, topics. The quiz at the beginning. Still, I haven't seen. If anybody has put in something that I haven't got to yet in the chat that you think might be the answer to the quiz, then do a read chat, please, and give me the timestamp or copy and paste it. I gave a hint. I thought that hint would have been sufficient for many of you. You were looking for the Easter eggs for me so I can figure something out. You have all, what I'm trying to prompt you to do, Ken Stout, is something that you did a few days ago in my chat room. Nobody else has done it. And I think it was on the first or second day that it was available. And I kind of need, so I can figure out how this thing works, I need for people to do it. I just don't want to tell you what it is. But Ken has forgotten what it was that he did. And I've even given the hint a few times. Oh well. Originally there was no time, generally speaking, to return the code, but they changed it and put a time limit on it. They absolutely can. So I think he's referring to the two-factor authentication where you're using a time-based app on your phone. They absolutely can. Originally, there was no time, generally speaking, to return the code, but they changed it and put a time limit on it. Yeah, but that doesn't, there's a time limit. When you get a code on your phone, the site that you need to enter it for, they can control how much time you have to enter that code. I know this because I defined that in one of my clients' offices where we use a Google Authenticator app for a time-based code, TOTP, time, I can't remember what it stands for right now, but I was able to choose how many minutes you have after the code comes up on your Authenticator app to enter that code. Then it is expired. But if the hacker with the right tools can find out what code you used at 11:02 a.m. or around 11 a.m. on a certain date, that they can reverse engineer that because they know what code your credentials and the website, what code that came up with in combination with the time, and then they can reverse engineer that and figure out what code to use for your account at a future time. Now, it might be the case that they have to have two at different time ranges to be able to reverse engineer that. I don't know that what I've just described is valid, but I think it is. If anyone wants to do the research on it, I'd be very interested to know what you come up with. He's saying originally there was no time. Yeah, perhaps when those apps first came out, there was no time limit. I don't know that. Bernard, my grandson Dylan, we know more about the issue now. We know more about, this is important, that if the GoPro 360 is having problems bringing up the image, it was really helpful now that we know his name is Dylan. Maybe if I go, let's see, if we go back here, yeah, GoPro. The user's name is, that was spelled a little differently. D-I-L-L-Y-N. D-I-L-L-Y-N. Does that help? Question mark. Thanks. Dylan, your name is duly noted. It doesn't change my suggestions. Smiley face. The issue seems more related to software compatibility than anything else. Let me know which of the steps I mentioned you'd like help with, or if you'd like to explore further fixes. Says that you and all that tried to help. My grandson Dylan says that you and I think he probably said, my grandson Dylan says, thank you. Thank you and all that tried to help. So if somebody does it and wants to try and use it, they're going to be on the clock face. I can speculate what that's about, not quite sure. Sure thing, Doug, will do both. My grandson and my daughter, son-in-law, have funny cars getting ready for this year's. Oh, they're not fans. They have funny cars. Oh, man, I need pictures so bad. Oh, I want pictures so bad. Are you going to be at Indy at the end of the year? Ken Stout asks. Sin Vicious, hello. Master Doug, John Hammond shows how to bypass two-factor authentication on his video. The @ symbol is on the same key as the number 2. That was supposed to be 2. Oh, here it says 2FA. Yeah, that may be where I saw that. IP, oh, boom, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Yeah, stars, fireworks, bing, bing, bing. IP address was different in port settings from the printer than its actual IP address. Greg M gets the quiz. I think that's about 4,000 points. Well done. That was exactly it. Now that somebody's guessed it, I'll give the rest of the story. I told you the clue that I gave you was that there was a piece of paper taped onto the printer. It gave the IP address 192.168.1.180. When I went to the printer, I saw that the ports, it had a check mark in the port 192.168.1.179. And on the very next line was a port 192.168.1.180. It was not selected. So I clicked on the checkbox for the 179, which automatically removes the check mark for the 180. And we send a print job and boom, it printed. That's when the guy's jaw dropped, because I pretty much went straight to that. You know, I looked at the switch, I saw that, I looked at the lights, but I really wasn't doing, I looked at the LED on the front, but the first action I actually took was checking and changing that IP address. Now, a little bit more detail, because I actually haven't quite given you the accurate detail yet, because it gets a little more than this. Actually, what I did on the printer, and I haven't told you this piece, I just wanted to get somebody on the idea of this IP address. It got a little weirder. So the numbers that I've said, 179, 180, those are the numbers involved, but I haven't told you quite the right sequence of things that happen. The handwritten label on the printer, I'm going to say it was 180. It might have been 179. It was one of those two numbers. But I did not trust that, so I punched the buttons on the printer. I'm pretty good with a printer that I've never seen before or a copy machine. I'm pretty good finding the path to get to the IP address. I wanted the printer to tell me what IP address it was using. The IP address it was using was not the one on that label. It was the other one. So label 180, it was actually using 179 or vice versa, whatever. When I went to the computer, it was using the address that was on that label, but that was wrong because that's not what the printer was using. So then I look at the client and I said, well, we can fix this either of two ways. We can change the address on the printer or change the address on the computer. And he says, well, whichever one is quicker and easier. And I said, well, that depends upon how many of these other computers here print to that printer. Because if we change the address on the either the computer or the printer, and all the other computers are set differently, then we have to go around to all the computers. And his response to me was that he's the only one that prints to that printer because he does the ID badges. So I said, okay, the easiest way is to just do it on the computer then because it's right here. And then I was asking him this, I was having this conversation with him before I actually changed it and printed. I said, here's the problem. So which way do you want to change this? Let's do it at the computer. So we did that and it printed one badge. And now the rest of the story, because it got worse, got deeper. This is a badge printer. It has these plastic badge cards. They're completely blank. That watermark that I described is not on the badge cards. It actually gets printed by this printer. There's no color to it. It kind of looks like one of those, glossy things. You turn around a little bit and you can see the image. Yeah, I see you there. Hi. Anyway, printed one badge. So he said, well, I've got 4 more I need to print for this batch, for this customer. I said, well, go ahead and print them. Let's make sure they print. So he queues them all up to print and they don't print. Similar symptom. They just sit in the print. Well, no, not quite similar symptom. The printer LED screen comes up with an error message. And it gave an error number. Oh, it said no cards inserted, but there's a stack of cards there. So he pulled the cards out. I looked at them. We put the cards back in, tried again, same response. So I want to take this error message and I want to search it. I go to Copilot because it's sitting right there on the taskbar. Although with this last Windows update, it disappeared on 2 of my computers. I had to pin it back. So, yeah, I searched that and Copilot came up with a bunch of things. One of those things said that the cards might be dirty. Well, when he pulled the cards out, I kind of thought they looked a little dingy. There was some marks on them. And then, let's see, I'm getting things out of sequence again. Before I did the search, we took the cards out, power cycled the printer, put the cards back in, and did a test print from the printer. Not a test page from Windows, because that's going to try to print an 8.5 by 11 page onto a badge printer. No, don't do that. It's going to, what I've seen before is it'll print 30 badges or whatever kind of printer you're dealing with. It's label printers normally where I would have that happen. So we power cycled it, put the badges in, do the test print, and it worked. Oh, it worked. Okay, well, that's interesting. But then he's looking at this test print and fusses with it a little bit and realizes it took 2 badges. It took 2 of the cards through at once. And so that's when I saw it took 2 out at once, and then Copilot said that the cards might be dirty. I said, that's got to be it. So I took microfiber cloth that they had on hand and some spray bottle, some mixture of alcohol. He told me it was 90, Kenny in the office told me it was 90% or 99%, whatever, it's fine. Spray it on, wipe it off. I did that for 4 cards, both sides of the cards, put them at the bottom of the stack because it appeared to be pulling them from the bottom of the stack, and it worked. I said, go ahead and try the rest of them, and they worked. I said, okay, you need to go clean the rest of these cards. And he says, no, I'm just going to order a new batch of cards. So that was interesting and fun, successful. And then, so we got that problem resolved, and then he starts talking about, you know, we got some other problems around here. Can you help with him too? He was very happy. So that's the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey Jr. would say. I think both senior and junior, didn't they both say that? The rest of the story. Did Paul Harvey Jr. do that? I think it was Paul. I think, wasn't there also a Paul Harvey III? I think the one that did those rest of the story things, I think he was Paul Harvey Jr. And I think he had a son, Paul Harvey III, that also was some kind of a broadcaster. Let's see. So this was Greg M. Oh, I know what I'll do for getting back to this easier. I'll just copy that. Control C. That's the easiest way for me to get back when I know that I'm going to lose my highlight, because I want to go search for something. Try searching for this. Nobody. It's nowhere. It's never been typed. All right. I think people are punking me. They're just refusing to try. Greg, Lawn Dog to Greg, I feel like I'm being penalized for being late. I'm reading almost all of your stuff. I didn't hear the introduction for the problem with the printer, only the last part of it. I suppose who knows how much of the important. Lawn Dog, how could you not know this? How could you not know this? I'm going to, Long Dog, are you watching? Watch, Lawn Dog. Let me get back to the show. Is this today's show? Yeah, it is. All right, I'm going to bring this back down to normal size. Okay, Lawn Dog, when you come in late, you should go all the way back to the beginning and start playing it, and then hold down the shift key and press period. Look up here in the top, right up around here, right up around the top here. Why can't I get that? It's right up around here. When I do control period, or shift period. Yeah, shift period. And it goes 1.5 speed. You can hear 1.5 speed and you can catch up. Doesn't take long to catch up. You weren't that late. That way you can be in tune. And this technique that I used this morning of starting out with a topic instead of telling you the date and time and saying hello, I'm feeling good about that. I've been doing that for 2 or 3 days now, I think. And I'm liking that. Just bam, starting the show right off the bat with a topic. And if you miss that beginning, you ought to go start watching from the beginning. Jim KJ3N does that. I do that on other people's shows. No, well, not with a car to can. We're running West Coast Brown Alcohol Thunder and Seesaw. I don't, is that supposed to not be, are you not supposed to pronounce that? CIFCA at times. My buddy will be running his Nitro Rat. Oh, man. Ah, in another life. Clues that the host dropped on us so we could determine the proper course of action to repair the problem, is what he had missed. I have a fairly nice camera that has a function to
chat,
do
please.
burst rate for taking pictures one after another real quick, and a standard SD card won't do this function properly. Oh, you got to get a faster SD card. I can get 3 or 4 pictures in a row, then it stalls. SD cards can have different speed capabilities. Yeah, your camera's obviously fast enough to do it. You need a faster. I got an Ultra SD card, which has higher writing data rate, and the camera works great now for this function. So yeah. So there, he gave me a tech issue to see if I could answer it, and I did. I did. Okay, for this function, Control C. Then I'm going to go do this recent read chat. You can back some point from lawn dog. You can back some point from lawn dog. Not sure. Yes, I did think about what you just explained, but thank you very much for going over it. You can back. Are you saying that I
Read
did?
chat, please.
You can take back some points from lawn dog. Oh, take back some points from lawn dog. Yes, I think you're right. I think you're right. Let's see. I'm not certain if this is the command. Deduct points. Yeah. Because he was complaining about being penalized. No, I don't penalize people until I take points away from them. There you go. That's not too harsh. That's really not too harsh. How much does he have now? How much does he have now? Come on. Oh, that must not be the right command. Otherwise, it would have responded. What to do? Set points. Oh, there's got to be a way to take away points. And reset. Set. Huh. I guess not. I thought there was. I can set his points at a certain number. I wonder if I can query his points. Oh, that's add points minus number. That's interesting. All right, let's try that. Really? Nobody? Just exclamation mark points? Nobody? Add points minus 500. Oh yes, that did work. Has been given negative 500 points and now has 5950. I'm talking saying next subject, next subject, next subject. No, don't continue with this. Okay, so now if I do Control F, Windows key V for this function is where I was at. And then I got to hit the arrows for it to actually move me to that point.
Please.
And let's see. Okay, so let's see. Exclamation mark C, cough. What? What? I don't know what you're saying there. I know what you said because I read it. I can read English. Unlike some KS people. Perhaps he meant trying to use it to zoom out. Copath. Yeah, that's right. We covered that one. Oh, he emailed the pictures. Oh, awesome, awesome. Looking for it. Oops. Oh, I gotta scroll up to the most recent stuff. Okay. Okay. I can't show the email because that would expose it. Couldn't preview file. There was a problem playing this video. I'm gonna go try the second email. There we go. 2025 race schedule. There's a way to make that bigger. Oh, that's too big. So it's giving us the race schedule. So there's a Funny Cars Outcast Racing. Is that your cars or is this just the race promo poster? And then, whoops, I can't punch those buttons too quick. Gotta wait for this thing to time out. Then I can go back to there. F11 to bring that back to normal size. X to close that picture. Go to the first email he sent, which is a video MP4. I'm clicking to download. And that looks good. Then launching it. Here we go. Oh, all right. So then this gives the race schedule, play the video. And it's basically that same image. And that's all the video was. All right. So was that your car or his car? Both. Oh, he says both kids' car. Okay, the subject of the email said both kids' car on the video, but the still image was the same thing. So this must be the kid's car. So this one, Pete Ortiz Jr. and the Ortiz Outcast 3.0. So they each have their own car. Oh man. Oh, I need more. I need more. I need video from the actual event. Oh, come. Bring it. Bring it. I email you pictures of both cars on this year's calendar. So that's their cars. Awesome. Lawn Dog, air gapping a computer reminds me of the Stuxnet virus. Those computers were not online on the internet. Yeah, that was, they were, the Stuxnet virus, wasn't that passed through floppy disks? So if you get somebody to use a floppy disk, but a properly secured air-gapped computer would have the USB ports disabled, any other, if it's got serial ports or printer ports disabled, the thing would be physically secure. There would not be a floppy drive. There would not be a CD drive. Or if they are physically installed, they'd be disconnected inside, and then the case would be have some kind of a lock on it and be secured in a cabinet or something. That's when we were talking about the medical computers still using Windows XP. I guess in this particular instance, how are we doing on time? All right. The method used to infect centrifuges can't happen because you would have to have XP updates for the machine in question. Yeah, the XP updates would have been, was that Service Pack 3, I think they went up to, and then it was done, over, no more. To infect centrifuge, it can't happen because you'd have to have XP updates for the machine in question. Alice does games sometimes, but she hasn't discovered what I've been dropping tons and tons of hints at. I actually have to come out and ask. I used to spend every summer weekend back in the 70s, Raceway Park Drag Strip. According to Phil, I'm going to start skimming through a little bit. I've been to monster truck stuff. I've been to our local Madera Speedway and Hanford Speedway. Easter comes in April this year. Hello, Dodger Dog. Alon Dog, regarding the two-factor authentication apps, I think what you're saying about using a timestamp to create the code is correct, but I believe after all those years of security, now that has been, of security now, I think you're referring to the show. All these years of security, now that's been changed? Or are you saying all these years of security, now that's been changed? Sounds familiar to how it was explained, how they can reverse engineer the code. That was many years ago. I'm not so sure that that's been fixed. That might still be the case. There is no randomness in computers because there's a reason to want to not fix that. And I haven't researched this either, and I really ought to. Two-factor authentication on a phone, you got an app on your phone. If you lose your phone, you're going to want to get that app back on a new phone, on your replacement phone. But how do you correlate it to your accounts if you can't sign into your account to synchronize with the new two-factor authentication app? How does that happen? I don't actually know, and I really need to. Because ideally, if you sign into your account with your username and password, we want some method on the new phone to be able to reconnect to that. Okay, the way that would be is that the two-factor authentication app stores information in the cloud. So then, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, you get the two-factor authentication app on your phone connected with your account, your Google account or your Microsoft account or your password account. That's how that happens. Does that mean that they have to retain the capability of reverse engineering the code? No, because that information is stored in your account. Then the problem comes up is if you lose your phone and you lose access to your whatever two-factor authentication app that you're using, if you lose access to that because the only place that you have your credentials for that is on your phone, then you're up a creek without a paddle, maybe. That's a problem with having all the layers of security, is there can be some things that will bite you. I know what you're referring to there, Josh. No further information is needed. Yeah, Phil, this conversation between them about tracks. I'm going to skim a bit. Okay, we're getting close to time here. I really need to get. If you're just going to refuse to deal with this, exclamation mark points. This is a command that any of you can use. Oops, you got to spell it right. You are automatically gaining points just by participating in chat. Currently, the points are supposed to be resetting at the beginning of every show. Next month, they might accumulate from one show to another. So you don't get points just by me awarding points to you. You get points just through your activity in chat. And Londog was intentionally demonstrating that you don't have to use proper capitalization. Alias Tepe. Alias Tepe, I don't think I've seen you much in chat, so you only have 500 points because you haven't been actively participating. I think, and this is what I want to find out by you guys testing this, is I think once your name is no longer on this list, then you're now missing out on points. I don't quite have it figured out their timing, but you have to be active within the past. It might be 5 minutes, it might be 10 minutes, I don't know. But if every time that the system checks, it's every minute, it's going to add points every minute if you have been active within the recency time period that the system is defaults to. Greg M has been pretty active, so this would imply that Greg M has been more active than Jeff, that Jeff might have set out. And this is supposed to be DougBot. Yesterday, it did report from DougBot. The day before that, it reported from LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts. It's not supposed to do that. I've been told I'm slow getting on the point. Alias says, oh, okay. Exclamation mark cash. I don't know what might become as far as a redemptive value. Right now, it's bragging. It's bragging rights for accumulating points. Man, if you all just stayed silent and nobody tried it from that, I'd be thinking, man, I might as well just end the show. Oh, I don't know where I was back here. Yeah, no, Londog, you don't have negative points. Yeah, you got what's your new number? Did you check? See, if you check again after 1 minute, your time, if you watch your clock for 1 minute, you should find that it has gone up by a certain number of points. Alias TAP, that 2.5 gig internet thing still makes me laugh. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Probably referring to a prior show, and I'm not. I remember that we dealt with somebody was trying to get their 2.5 gig on their internet that they're supposed to be getting from Comcast. Is that what you're referring to? The absurdity of actually getting that number? But he was getting down. He would get down below 200 megabits per second. There was definitely something wrong going on with his connection. Bitcoins. Yeah. I used to listen to Paul Harvey and the Bible Answer Man from Londog. I think my mom probably turned me on to Paul Harvey. Did you set the printer up for static IP for minimize future problems? It was a static IP. The printer had a static IP assigned to it. Somewhere along the line, the printer got changed to that alternate IP address, or the computer got checkmarked onto the alternate. It could be the case that the other people who tried working on that problem, they might have gone to the computer and switched from the .179 that the computer was set for to the 180, which was what was on the label, the handwritten label on the printer. They might have made that change. And in the meantime, after that also restarted the printer, which might have been the original problem with the printer, or they might have disconnected and reconnected the Ethernet cable on both sides. So they might have fixed whatever the actual original problem was after they switched the computer to the IP address that was handwritten on the printer. So when they fixed the actual original problem, it still wouldn't print because now the computer was sending the wrong IP address. And they didn't understand enough of what was going on, or they didn't suspect that the printer might not have actually been set to that address. What we did do is we changed the number on that piece of paper that was taped onto the printer to show what it is actually currently set at. Yeah, there was no DHCP dynamic IP addressing issues involved. Now, something else that did come out in all of this is that around the time period when that printer was last used, which was 2 or 3 weeks previous, and yesterday's issue, whenever that started, whether it started yesterday or the day before, I don't know. But during that time period, this printer isn't used every day. During that time period, the copy machine that printer was sitting on top of was serviced. They had pulled it out, opened panels up, and serviced it. They must have taken that printer off the top and set it down. They put the printer back in, put it back up. That bit of jostling might have caused a problem. Now, here's another thing that came out is the power brick for that label printer, for that badge printer. I checked it out. I picked that brick up and turned it over. There was a big gash cut in the plastic of that power brick. It was like an arrow shape, like a left-hand arrow, a greater than symbol. It was a V shape. I'm trying to I'm doing this backwards. And just look at my finger. It was a V shape cut out, and the plastic was pushed down. The sharp edge of the plastic was pushed down into the power brick. And I said, "Did you see this? Did you know about this?" And he said, "No, I didn't know about this." And then he explained that after the copy machine people had worked with it, this power brick was down on the floor behind the machine. He picked it up and put it on top of the copy machine, obviously without looking on the underside. So we need to be replacing that power brick. The printer is still functional, but and that the place where that pointed edge was pushed down, it was pushed down right at the edge of the power brick where the cord goes to the printer. So sketchy. Can you spell sketchy? I don't have any redirects set up today. I don't think there's anybody to redirect to. I'm just going to check on Carrie. Nope. Alias TAP member for 1 month. Now, am I right that you guys actually trigger that to make that show up, right? By doing, I think, the dollar symbol, and there's some option. Oh, membership only perks. Is this it? Does that do it? I don't think so. I think you see something else on your screen. Am I right about that? Just a 1 in chat if I'm right, that there is some option there that you're using to make that happen. 1 in chat, 0 if I'm wrong, and it's some other technique. I'm going to be shutting down pretty soon. So I can use that moment of silence in the show. Many times has allowed me to miss important things. Yeah, and I suppose when you turn off your speakers so that you can speak, And I have seen that before. I've seen that
Read
happen
chat,
where you
please.
wind up saying something that I just said. And it's obvious to me that the reason why you missed it is because you're speaking at that time or even thinking about what you want to say. Yeah, I do realize that. Greg M. Is he asking me to see his last comment? What are you wanting me to see? Oh, Ski Man spelling sketchy. I asked if you can spell it. Charlie Purdy says 1, so I'm right about how you guys are doing that. I don't know, Greg M, what you're asking me to see. Everything you say, your echo, will be sent to Amazon starting March 28th. Amazon is killing a privacy feature to boost that word, the new subscription assistant. That's interesting. No longer process requests locally. Cynthia, do not send voice recordings. Enable, and there it goes. Starting March 28th, recordings of everything command spoken to Alexa living in Echo and smart devices will be automatically sent to Amazon. Well, personally, I'm not going to be leading the charge to prevent that, but that seems really breachy. It seems like there's going to be, I would expect there'd be quite a backlash for that. Yeah, Jeff says, how can we find out our point level? And I have shown that. Has anybody figured out how many points they earn each minute? Each minute that they're active. Yeah, and the add points command only works for me. Type as administrator. I'm not reading things very well anymore because it's time to put this to bed. Tim Cruz emailed me. All right, I'll go check. Oh, all right. I see what you're doing. Okay, you're showing off. Download speed of 1 gigabit, 127, and upload of 37. All right. But your upload's not significantly faster than mine. Your download is. I don't care about that. When I'm even when I'm downloading huge things, whoever I'm downloading from typically is throttled. You can't download from any site at anywhere near those speeds. You have to set up very unusual circumstances to be able to do that. About the only place you're going to download at those speeds is a speed test, because the speed test does actually download content in order to test speed. Hence the name speed test.
Read chat, please.
Gary's here. Hello, Gary. I don't think I've seen Gary before this point. We have used the Blum, and Shum random number algorithm with the government. Yeah, I had no idea what that is. All right, looks like I'm falling for the shiny object, the rabbit, squirrel. Okay, there we go. I got a copy of that. Explain that algorithm. Pseudo-random number generator. PRNG is the acronym for that. Strong cryptographic. Nor Blum, Manuel Blum, and Michael Schub. Oh, okay. That's where the name comes from. That was going to be the next question. Yeah. All right. I got that down pat now. I understand it completely. I can recite it by memory. Stop it, Doug. Just stop it. My alarms are going to start ringing in just a few minutes because I have several of them set to ring after quitting time. Oh, you can send a question to this email address or put a comment on any of my videos. Myself in the chat room will do our level best to reply to it and give you some answers or ideas or move it along further, even if we have to interact back and forth with you over a few days. That's what this channel is here for. That's why one of the reasons why I created this channel. All right. So that's good. Have a great weekend, everybody, and an awesome Saturday. Catch you later. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.
Tune in 6 days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team, for Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply we're tech support supreme. We're tech support supreme. Tune in 6 days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team, for Windows support and more than you've dreamed. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply more deeply VB, we're tech support supreme. We're tech support supreme. We're tech support supreme. Tech support supreme. We're tech support supreme. We're tech support supreme. We're tech support supreme.